Am I audible, students? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
what about other students? Only few students joined, 9 students joined. I was waiting for others. Anyways, Shubho Vijaya, everyone. So this is our first class after Puja vacation, and from this class we will be starting our software engineering lab. Okay, so today we will be doing our software engineering lab, our first software engineering lab. Okay, so let me start the recording. Screen visible, students?
Yes, ma'am. No, no, ma'am. Now, yes.
Okay. So today we will be learning about DFDs, okay? That is data flow diagram. Okay. So in the first module, I have said that I will be doing DFD and in the lab. So see here, DFD. What is DFD? So DFD means data flow diagram. Okay. Basically, it is a diagrammatic representation, or this data flow model is of a system is a graphical representation, and it shows how input data is transformed to its corresponding output data through a hierarchy of DFDs. So basically, the DFD model of a problem consists of many DFDs and a single data dictionary. So the DFD model of a system is constructed by using a hierarchy of DFDs. The top level is called the level 0 or level 0 DFD or context diagram. In some books, you will find it as context diagram, and in some books, we will see that level 0 and context diagram are both combined, and this is the top level is the most abstract representation of the system, that is the highest level. So it is the easiest to draw and understand. At each successive lower level DFDs, more and more detail are gradually introduced. So to develop a higher level DFD model, processes are decomposed into their sub processes, and the data flow among these sub processes are identified. So to develop the data flow model of a system, first, the most abstract representation, that is the highest level of the problem, is to be worked out. Subsequently, the lowest level DFDs are developed. Level 0 and level 1 consists of only one DFD each. Level 2 may contain up to 7 separate DFDs, and level 3 up to 49 DFDs, and so on. However, there is only a single data dictionary for the entire DFD model, and all the data names appearing in all DFDs are populated in the data dictionary, and the data dictionary contains the definition of all data items. So there are various steps to create data flow diagram. So see here, first you need to create a list of activities. Okay, what are the activities that are to be performed in your diagram? You need to create that list. Okay, after that, in the step 2, you need to construct context level DFT. You need to construct context level DFT. That is, you need to identify the external entities and processes that are present in your DFT. Next, construct level 0. So see here, I have defined context level and level 0 as the different one, but you can combine both. Okay. In some book, you will find context level and level 0 as a single part, or in some book, you will find it different. Okay. So that does not matter. So context levels is construct level 0 DFT. So it actually identifies manageable sub processes. Next is construct level 1 in DFT. So it identifies the actual data flows and data stores. So basically DFD is what? Data flow. That means in your program, how the data is flowing, and from which direction to which direction it is flowing. DFD is used to check that. Okay. And step number 5 is used to check against rules of DFD. So see here how you will be doing the DFD naming guidelines. So remember, whatever external entities you are taking that are actually nouns. So how you will identify if you are given a set of data, like you are given a paragraph in that you have been given, you need to construct. There is a suppose library management system. Suppose instead of writing the question, they are not directly saying that construct a DFD of library management system. That means the question is like is giving the privilege to the user, whatever an entity, whatever attribute, whatever data flow, whatever process the user wants to take, it can take according to his choice. But if in the question it is already mentioned, everything is mentioned, like you are having a library management system. In that library management system, you are having this number of students, this number of staffs, this number of books. So the relationship between staffs and books are like this. If everything is given in your if DFD, then in the question, then you need to understand from that question, you need to understand what will be the external entity, what will be the data flows, what will be the processes, what will be the data stores. So these are the main functionalities of the DFDs. That is, you need to first identify the external entity, then data flow, then process, and then data store. Now, external entity is what? It is a noun. So whenever you are viewing the question, the short trick to identify the external entity is mark the nouns. The nouns will form the external entities. Next is data flow. Data flow means name of those data. Okay, so names of those data will be the data flow part. Processes. Whenever you are seeing any verb, that means it is a process, that is a system name or a subsystem name. And data store is also a noun. So how we are doing DFD? See here, we are creating a data flow diagram of a lemonade stand example. So lemonade stand means there is a suppose you have seen in many movies or in like cartoons, they actually sell lemonade. Okay, so there is a stand of lemonade sellers. Yes, so they see everyone is standing in a queue and the seller is selling the lemonade. Okay, so this is the data flow diagram of a lemonade stand. How it is happening. See how we are creating the data flow diagram. So, example, the operations of a simple lemonade stand will be used to demonstrate the creation of data flow diagrams. Okay, so here we are using this lemonade stand to create the data flow diagram. So, see, one by one was the steps. So in step one, we need to create a list of activities. So old way, no use case diagram, but new way we use use case diagram. What is use case diagram? I will be discussing. So next is construct context level DFD. So here we are identifying the source and destination, source and C. And the next one, level 0, it identifies manageable sub-processes. And in level 1, it identifies actual data flows and data stores. Okay. What are the list of activities that can be there in your lemonade stand example? So that are, suppose there is a customer. Okay, so in lemonade stand, what were the entities? First, you need to identify the entities. So what were the entities? The entities can be one, that is customer. There is a customer. Okay. Customer is there. This is entity number 1. Entity number 2 is employee. There is an employee. Okay, EMP. And entity number 3 is vendor. There is another one who is vendor, who is supplying all the materials. Okay, vendor. Employee serving the customer and vendor is serving the employee. That is, vendor is giving all the requirements that are needed for the employee to run the shop. Okay, this is vendor. So these three are the entities. Okay, so what are the activities that can be performed? First activity is customer order. So here the customer is giving an order. Another Next, serve product. Whenever the customer is giving an order to the employee in return is serving the product to the customer. Okay. Next, collect payment. So the employee is collecting the payment. Okay. And after that, it is producing the product and it is storing the product, okay, to the vendor. So these are the list of activities that are present in the DFD of lemonade stand. Okay. So these activities are user dependent. That is, I have created the activities like this. It is not mandatory that you are creating the same activities. Just imagine, just think whatever activities you are coming in your mind, you can add those activities. Not necessarily they will match my activity, the activities of mine will match with yours. Okay. Another one, see. Also think of the additional activities needed to support the basic activities. Okay. So see here. Here the additional activities are what? Order raw materials, pay for raw materials, and pay for labor. Okay. So customer orders, serve product, collect payment, produce product, store product. These are already given. And we are in additional activities, we are adding order raw materials, pay for raw materials, and pay for labor. Okay. Next is see what are the list of activities. So we are grouping the list of activities. We have first created the list of activities. Now we are grouping the list of activities in logical fashion. Logical fashion means, see here, if you are giving customer order and then serve product and then collect payment, we are combining these three in a single one. Okay. After that, produce product, store product, we are combining it into another one. And order raw materials, pay for raw materials, we are combining it into another one. And pay for labor, we are combining. These are actually similar type of activities. So that's why we are selecting the similar type of activities into one group, and we are staying it. Okay. So next is, this is the original diagram. See, this is a diagrammatic view which is showing the flow of data. Okay, how data is flowing. So see here, this is the context level DFD which identifies source and destination. So here, see, create a context level diagram identifying the source and sink. Okay, that is source and destination. So here we in the last slide we have seen we have combined the similar type of activities. So similar type of activities are combined. So in the context level DFD, what we are doing, see, we know that in this data flow diagram, the entities are customer, employee, and vendor. So see here we have students. Is this slide clearly visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So see here, the customer is ordering lemonade. Okay, so this is the zero level DFD. So that's why we have given 0.0. Okay, so customer is ordering lemonade system. Okay, which in turn is serving the product. Okay, and after that customer is giving the payment to the lemonade system. Okay. Also, see here, lemonade system is related with the employee. How it is related? Whenever the employee is working for that particular system, it is giving back the payment, okay, to the employee. And employee is returning time work, that is how many amount of time he is working in that particular DFD, it is showing. And lemonade system is showing the sales forecast, and after that employee is showing the production schedule, that is how much he has worked and how much production he has done. That is actually the employee showing to the lemonade system. Again, see here, another entity is there, who is the vendor. So what vendor is doing? Vendor is receiving, vendor is giving the goods to the system. So here, see, the arrow is moving from this direction to this direction. That is, the lemonade system is receiving goods from the vendor. So see here, the arrows are very important. These are the entities. Okay, that means here these are the sources and destinations. Now see here, the arrow is moving from this direction to this direction. That is, this is the source and this is the destination. So customer is ordering lemonade system. So that's why arrow is going from this to this. Now lemonade system is producing, serving the product to the customer. Now it is from this to this direction. Okay, customer is giving the payment, so that's why it is from this direction to this direction. So remember, while making that DFDs, you need to give the arrows in the you need to give the arrows in the uh, given order. That means you cannot do anything wrong with the arrows, then the whole DFD will imply something else. So see here, similarly, here the vendor is giving the goods. Okay, that is the lemonade system is receiving the goods. So from vendor, it is moving to the lemonade system. So that's why arrow is from this end to this end in this way. Okay. Next, which in turn lemonade system is giving back the payment to the vendor. So that's why see, from lemonade system, the payment arrow is to vendor. That means lemonade system is paying to the vendor. Okay. And also lemonade system is giving the purchase order to the vendor. So that's why here the destination is vendor and the source is lemonade system. So see here, from source to destination, it is moving. So in this way, the DFD level 0 we are constructing. Am I clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone having any doubt? Anyone? Any question? Next is, see here, next level. Okay, this is the next level. So here we are creating a level 0 diagram, identifying the logical subsystem that may exist. Okay, so see here, this is a level 0 diagram. Here see what is happening. Customer is ordering, okay, some, this is a level 0, level 1.0. Okay, level 0 1 level, level 0 2 level, level 0 3 level, level 4 is a 0 4 levels. So 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 in this way. Okay, now see here, customer is ordering, customer is paying, and see here, which is in turn giving the, that is the, it is redirecting to production. So the sales is redirecting after getting the product ordered, it is moving to the production. Okay, that is 2.0, and also it is moving to the sales forecast to the employee. So see here, we are breaking this. See, in only in context level we are having only this. Okay, that is the we are not going into detail, but here see, detailed approach. Okay, that is only from customer employee. See how many arrows are going, and outgoing and incoming arrows are becoming more, because we are dividing that level into another and we are subdividing it. So see here, customer order 1.0, then payment, and then whenever doing the sale is happening, it is showing the product order production, and which is in turn showing the arrow in this direction, that is product served. Okay, and also the employee is showing the production schedule. Next, there is another entity, that is vendor. Vendor is showing received goods to the procurement. Okay, and which in turn is returning back the purchase order, and again also the payment. Okay, now see here, employee is giving the order decisions to the procurement, and procurement is giving back the production details to the inventory through this arrow. This is the, from procurement it is moving to the production. And see here, there is another one, payroll. Payroll is showing the pay details to the employee, and also the time worked. Employee is giving the time, number of amount of time worked to the payroll for giving the salary, that is for giving the payment. So in this way, level 0 DFD is working. Next is level 1. So level 1C, create a level 1 decomposing the processes of in level 0 and identifying the data store. So again, we are decomposing level 0 and we are identifying. So see here, customer order and collect payment. Okay. So see here, customer is giving an order. Okay. So it is giving see here, this is the level 1. So that's why it is giving 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 in this way. Okay. So level 1, 1 level, level 1, 2 level, level 1, 3 level. So in this way, it is giving the subdivisions. Okay. So the customer is or giving an order. Okay. So record order. So it is giving again to the order. Next, see, it is serving the order via and in the receipt payment, it is receiving the payment and it is showing to the product produce sales forecast and request for forecast, and in the end it is showing the sales forecast. So this is the level 1 DFT. In this way, the data is flowing from here to here, 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 here to here. In this way, the data is flowing from higher level to the next lower level. Okay. Here, another this is the continuation of this level. So see here, product order, it is serving, see 2.1, this is second level, but one that is here, it is having 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and here 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 in this. So it is serving the product and it is showing the quantity served. Then produced product. So it is showing the giving the from raw materials, it is providing the produced product, and then it is showing the quantity used, and then production data, store product, and it is moving back to the inventory. So this is the level 1 continuation. So see here, this is the whole diagrammatic view of the DFT. Okay. So in the context level, that is in the 0th level, what is it is showing that the overall system, that is a lemonade system, it is showing. Now it is subdividing into 4 parts, that is 1.0, okay, and 1.1, 1.2. See 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. So these are the levels. So see here, in the first level, in the 0th level, it is showing sale. Now how it is selling? It is selling by by keeping the record of the order and receiving the payment. Similarly, it is showing production. So it is giving the production based on serving the product, producing the product, and storing the product. Okay, and procurement, it is giving by purchase order, receive items, when pay vendors, and payroll is giving record time worked, calculate payroll, and pay employees. So in this way, it is further getting subdivided. So context level, only one entity was there. In level 0, see 4 entities, and it is again further subdivided. So in level 1, many entities are there. So this is the flow of or process decomposition of DFT. Okay. So this, okay, students, is it clear to everyone, or if anyone is having any doubt? Hello? Please respond, students. Anyone having any doubt? Respond, students. If you are not saying anything, then I will assume that you are understanding everything. Okay, students, one important thing I would like to say is I have given you the assignment in the TCA sign, that is CA2 and PCA2. Both the assignments are uploaded in the TCA sign. What you need to do is you need to solve those assignments, that is CA2 and PCA2, both, sorry, PCA1, both the assignments you need to solve, and you need to upload those assignments in Google Drive as well as TCA sign. Okay, so in Google Drive, you will find Shumon has created a Google Drive. So you will find in that Google Drive, there is a folder named CA2. So you need to solve the assignment the way which you have done in, while solving CA1. That is, you need to write and then make it in a PDF format and then upload in Google Drive. In Google Drive, you will find a folder of CA2. So you need to upload the assignment in that CA2 folder. And there is a folder of PCA1. So you need to write the PCA1 and upload it into the PCA1 folder. And then after that, you need to upload this two in the TCS-IN. So the questions are already given. You need to solve those questions and upload it. And the deadline is 27. Okay, 27. Today is 21. I am giving 7 days of time. So 27 is Wednesday. So you need to submit the assignment within 27. So 27 is the last day. So everyone, please keep a note of it and keep on start writing the assignments within 27. You need to submit. Am I clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So anyways, so this is a DFD of this eminent stand example. So DFD, just I am giving you one DFD example of bus garage repair. Okay, so you need to construct a DFD of bus garage repair. So you know that buses come to a garage for repairs. So a mechanic and helper perform the repair, record the reason for the repair, and record the total cost of all parts used on a shop repair order. Next is information on labor, parts, and repair outcome is used for billing by the accounting department, parts monitoring by the inventory management computer system, and a performance review by the supervisor. So you need to remember this is the question, and it is not already in this question you have been given everything. Okay, so you need to identify the entities, that is here the mechanic, the repair, bus, these are the entities, and you need to identify also the processes, what are the extra everything you need to identify, and after that you need to construct that DFD. Okay, so this is your homework. Try to do it. Okay, take a screenshot of this. I will provide you the this slide, but you just go through, take a screenshot and try to solve it by yourself. And tomorrow you are having my class also from 10 to 11 you are having my class. So we will again continue the DFD of another some other problem, and we will solve. Okay. So students, is it clear to everyone? Yes, no, tell me something.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So as of now, I'm closing the session. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Tomorrow we are again meeting and we will continue the concept of DFD in that class. Okay. So thank you students for attending to this class. Let me download the attendance list. So thank you students for attending to this class. Now you can leave.